We all strive for perfection, right? Well, I don't. And I think perfection is holding a lot of people actually back and even starting things or improving themselves. Hi, I'm Stefan, and in this video I'll talk about a little pet peeve of mine, which is perfection. Generally, I talk about the channel stuff I use, gadgets I love, and everything that makes my life easier. And actually, perfection would make my life a lot harder. So let me walk you through what I actually mean. If you look at the Cambridge Dictionary, perfection is defined as complete and correct in every way, of the best possible type or without fault. So I understand why a lot of people actually want to strive for perfection, or why they think perfection is the goal. But perfection comes with a lot of negatives, because everything that is not perfect by definition is not perfection, and being perfect at anything or making something perfect is quite hard actually. Ultimately, this can lead to people not even starting what they want to do in the knowledge that they may not be perfect at it, or that they cannot perfect something that they want to do. And this is quite a problem, I think. And this could lead to quite a few negative things that you want to not have in your life. For example, perfection can lead to stress, because you stress over having everything perfect and every smallest mistake is to be avoided. Or it can lead to burnout, because you again stress so much about all the little things that comes into this perfection part, just for the smallest amounts of gain, just to go from this 99.8 to 99.9% perfect. But you want the 100%. And this is really difficult, and that can drive you insane, just to get these last very crucial tiny bits that are so incredibly hard to achieve. Also, it can really nag on your self-worth, because while if you are really perfect at something, it can actually drive up your self-worth, having the doubts if you will be able to pull it off. And if you can't pull off perfection for some reason, then your self-worth will at least subjectively go down a little bit, because you can't do that thing perfectly. This also is not good for you. And another point why I think perfection is not the goal we should strive for. And lastly, if you strive for perfection, at least at some times, you maybe will seek perfection in other people as well, because you strive for it, right? And if other people aren't perfect in what they're doing and don't strive for perfection, it might frustrate you a little bit, because you actually want them to be perfect because you try to be perfect. So also this can lead quite to a few conflicts or different expectations to certain outcomes. What I like to focus on, and what I also do on my whole YouTube channel here, and generally something that I aspire to, is try to be happy with good enough. So what is good enough? There is no one definition, and it changes from topic to topic to topic. There is the Pareto principle, for example, that would define good enough as the 80-20 rule, where the first 80% takes 20% of the time, and the last 20% takes the additional 80%. So in this definition, good enough would maybe be 80% done and call it a day, because this is very, very efficient. And after that, you get lots of diminishing returns actually building up and getting even more quality into this. But it has not to be 80%, of course. Basically, just see where the quality is so good that while there would be improvements if you would increase quality on whatever you do. It could be work, it could be you being, I don't know, a good person, a better boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. But also, if the thing that you do actually satisfied all the needs that it needs to satisfy, then this is good enough, and it doesn't need to be better. It doesn't need to be over-engineered, and it doesn't need to be, way bigger than it should be. For example, if you just need a pen is good enough. You don't need to have the pen that writes in 6 colors and I don't know, whatever it does else. if you just need a pen. This is super simple. This is the base for a lot of things. Let's take my YouTube channel here as an example. If I would strive for absolute perfection in every video, this would require me to basically study filmmaking, study videography, and just talk in front of the mirror for multiple hours a day, just to be so good that I could be perfect. And if you ask like the biggest YouTubers like Mr. Beast, he would tell you there is no perfect video. So even he would think, well, there's always something to improve. Now, having this in your mind, a lot of people would maybe not even start and say, oh God, I don't know how to film, how to edit the video that is later on, how to script my video, how to plan my video, publish it and everything. So I don't even start because this is overwhelming. And I understand that. But on the other hand, just try. Just try it out and see where it leads you. And just try to improve bit by bit and see where you come out. I personally also like that if you just start with something and figure out the rest of the details later on, it allows you to make mistakes and grow from these mistakes. And this growth would not happen, growing from a mistake that is, if you studied beforehand for enormous amounts of time, and because this is all theory, you will make mistakes when you do them in practice. So it actually makes sense to not basically embrace all this startup, fail daily or whatever. This is all nice, but just start with something. Just start and see where it leads you and see what you learn from it and improve from there on. And this is actually what I want to drive here. Perfection is not the goal if you want to get good at something, because perfection may hinder you. If you try to improve yourself instead of aiming for perfection, you will get better at a pace that is much more reasonable and which will not leave you stressed out or disappointed because you have not reached that perfection state that maybe nobody will ever arrive at. So how can you do that? Set realistic goals. If you set realistic goals and not strive for perfection, you can actually make meaningful progress and then update your goals and set new realistic goals to work further and further. You will get to a point that is qualitatively very good. And if there's something where perfection is well defined and you could reach it, which is not the case for everything, well, don't define it as your first goal, but as your, I don't know, sixth goal or something like this, and work your way to there. The second part, and how you can actually get there, is to look on the process and how to get there, not to the goal itself. So, as I said, just try to improve yourself bit by bit each day, and this will get you to a very good state without just looking at the goal state all the time, but instead looking week by week what you want to improve. This is also how I run this YouTube channel and plan to run it for the foreseeable future. Just see what I can improve week by week, and the quality will rise inevitably because I have a few ideas that I want to implement. But I don't stress out and say by, I don't know, Christmas, I want to have this amazing videos that I can produce, because I won't be able to be there right yet, right? But I will have made the improvements, and that is what's count in my opinion. So what's the quintessential thing here? If you strive for perfection, you may leave potential of yours on the table that you will not realize because you might not start, or you get demotivated because you could not reach that perfection fast enough. So instead of striving for perfection, strive for good enough, and this will yield in the long run way better outcomes. There are things, of course, where you might really need to think about if good enough is good enough. So this good enough is very specific to you, and you might need to do the research to know when something is good enough and when it's not. But this is for you, and maybe a topic for another video. So, if you have any questions, if you agree or if you disagree with me, especially then, write in the comments, let's discuss, let's hear your opinion, let's hear your stories if you have any. Consider subscribing if you like to. There will be some videos here and maybe here. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Talk to you in the next one. Goodbye.